Tomorrow we are going to be at the Crawford-Khan press conference announcement. You're not going to be there, you're going to be in New York. First of all, reasons for that?
For being in New York, I have a massive meeting that's very important. So we're co-promoting the show. Frank Smith will be there for us on the top table, repping. It's got nothing to do with someone saying, are you not going because you're pissed off with Khan? No. I'm upset. I'm not upset. I'm a bit gutted that he didn't fight Brook. But he's fighting Terence Crawford. I mean, it's not like he's fighting Sid Snott over 10 rounds. So he's fighting a tougher fight than Kell Brook. But I wanted him to fight Kell Brook. I think a lot of people wanted him to fight Kell Brook. But he's trying to win a world title against pound for pound one of the top fighters out there. So we're involved. We're co-promoting the show. We support him 1,000,000%. We hope he wins. We'll be there. But I'm going to New York for a meeting that I really can't cancel. But we'll be represented and we're behind him 100%.
It's the third fight of his deal with you. Does that mean it's at an end, the whole Khan matchroom relationship? Is this the last?
No, I think we're already talking about extending that. I've got a good relationship with Amir. For many years it was quite poor. And I think the way we've worked together in the last two, I'm pretty sure you can ask him tomorrow, and you can say this to him, that Eddie feels that after those two fights, he feels and he hopes you feel like you wish you would have all linked up earlier. And I think that's the feeling. So, if he doesn't want to stay with us after the Terence Crawford fight, he doesn't have to. I think he will. I think that might even be extended before the fight, to be honest with you. But again, during these negotiations, people said to me, how was it negotiating the Crawford fight against the Brook fight? I made it quite clear to stay on the Brook fight. I knew about the negotiations, I knew about the money, I knew about everything, but I wanted the Kell Brook fight. So I didn't feel like I'd be doing my job for Kell if I just didn't push the Brook fight. And in the end, when he made his decision, I had to go and make sure everything was tidied up around the Crawford fight. Obviously, like I said, he's under contract to us. We're co-promoting the fight with Top Rank. But my heart wasn't in that fight. My heart was in the Kell Brook fight. And I tried to get that over the line, but I couldn't.
Would you have signed Amir Khan if you knew one of those three fights wasn't going to be Khan Brook?
It wasn't about the Brook fight. It was about getting Amir Khan with Matchroom back on Sky and hopefully making a Brook fight. He did 2 fights on Sky, massive ratings on both. The second one was the highest rating fight ever on Sky. This fight, although we control the sale of the UK rights, doesn't have to go on Sky. They'll want that fight on pay-per-view. Khan and Top Rank. So if Sky don't take that fight on pay-per-view, which I'm not sure they will, to be honest with you, it won't go on Sky. But that doesn't affect anything. It's up to us and Sky whether we want that to happen. So we'll see what happens.
ESPN have got the deal with BT Sport, so could we expect to see that on BT Sport's pay-per-view?
It's up to us. Right. If Sky want that fight, we can take that fight. If they don't, it will go to BT, it will go to ITV, it will go to whoever will want it to be pay-per-view. For me, coming in at 5 in the morning, it's not a standalone pay-per-view, so can you build something around it? If we go April 13 with Joshua, we definitely won't be showing it because we just can't go pay-per-view with that fight. So it's a tough one. But again, if Sky want it, they can have it. If not, it could go to BT, could go to ITV, could go to another outlet.
What were Kell Brook's thoughts when I'm assuming you were the person who informed him that Crawford-Khan was taking place?
He never thought it would happen. Never. Not 5 years ago, not a year ago, not 2 weeks ago. He follows it. He knows. But I've said to him on many occasions because we were making progress. I think we're going to get this. You ain't going to fight me. I said no. I'm going to prove you wrong. He will fight you. No, he won't. And he was right. He was right all along.
Is there anything you feel you could have done more?
No. I made an offer, I improved the offer. I got to a point where financially, and even Kell had to take less money than he should have, but financially, it was a risk. It was a risk, not for Kell because he was getting paid, but he wasn't getting paid what he probably hoped to get paid. We had the risk of losing money, bet you're all gutted about that. But when you do a big pay-per-view at Wembley that could do 1 million buys, not being funny, I'd like to make a few quid. But we might not have. We might have lost 7 figures on that fight. And as much as I want it to happen, the numbers have got to add up. So I got to a level that I shouldn't have got to. And I can't do any more. Ultimately, he liked the fight against Crawford. And he obviously didn't like the fight against Brook. But again, you can't Now, although I don't feel like Amir's given us the fight that we wanted, you can't criticise him because he's fighting Terence Crawford. So, you know, I respect Khan. We're behind him 100%. I'm just a bit gutted that he didn't fight Kell Brook.
Where does this leave Kell Brook? Obviously, we've seen the rumours about Jeff Hearn. You've just signed Liam Smith. Jesse Vargas is another name that's been mentioned down at welterweight. Which one of those three do you feel is probably the most likely?
The Jesse Vargas fight's one we can make very quickly because obviously Jesse's with us. Liam Smith's with us as well. I think that's a future fight at 154. He's mandatory to Jarrett Heard. Jeff Horn's guys come on the other day, talk about that fight. I like that fight as well. He'll be in a big fight. Kell Brook will be in a big fight. He's focused now, you know. And like I said, he didn't build himself up to a stage where he's like, "Oh, have we got the Khan fight?" He just said to me all along, he won't fight me. So I don't think he's shocked by the news. Going to meet him next week, go through it with him and his dad, and try and plot out some big fights. He's more focused than I've ever seen him, which is a bit frustrating actually, because I wish he was like this 3 years ago. So we've got to make the most of it. And I think now, because he wasn't great in his last fight, I think people are going to fancy the fight a lot more. So he's going to have plenty of options.
The Jarrett Heard fight, so he's mandatory for Jarrett Heard. When he first made his move to 154, Jarrett Heard was one of the people who kind of welcomed him with open arms into the division. That fight doesn't seem to be one of the top three most realistic fights. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, because I don't think, well, he's not due to mandatory just yet. So Jarrett Heard will fight, I think he's down to fight Williams, is it, in his next fight? Something like that? Yeah, so we know he ain't fighting him next, so that's why we're not really talking about it. Again, that's another one of those, I'll fight Kell Brook in the UK with an asterisk if you give me shitloads of money. Same with Joshua. I'll fight Joshua if you give me money that is absolutely ridiculous. So we'll see. But he's up for the Jarrett Heard fight. Jarrett Heard's a good fighter. Tough fight, massive like middleweight. So but Kell wants big fights, and that's what he'll have in 2019.
Realistically, I mean, you've said it before, if it's not next, it will never happen, Khan Brook. Realistically, is that fight ever going to take place, do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, again, look, Khan could beat Crawford, or he could do really well and lose, and Kell could have a good win. I don't think it'll ever be the size that it is now. It can happen. It's still a big pay-per-view fight, but it might do 500,000 instead of 1 million. Might do 20,000 instead of 80,000. So I just felt like we had such a good opportunity to strike that we may have missed the boat.